The galaxy had always been ruled by the Galactic Empire. Its fleets were vast, its armies endless, and its authority unchallenged for thousands of cycles. Worlds bowed before it, alien civilizations paid tribute, and the Emperor's word was law. No one dared to question imperial might, and few dared even to imagine resistance. At the edge of imperial space, in a cluster of young, unremarkable star systems, humanity had quietly grown. Their colonies were small, their technology appeared simple compared to imperial standards, and their fleets looked fragile. From a distance, most of the galaxy believed humans were insignificant, just another minor species that would be quickly absorbed. But humans were not like the others. The first act that truly shocked the galaxy was almost invisible. A human colony world named New Dawn had been annexed by Imperial forces. The Empire expected resistance. It expected panic. It expected surrender. Instead, the humans sent a single envoy. Captain Alara Voss, the human envoy, stepped calmly into the Galactic Council chamber. Her uniform was simple. Her demeanor was calm. She carried no weapons. Behind her, a small contingent of human aides waited, silent, confident, and unarmed. The council laughed at first. The human envoy looked fragile against the tall, imposing forms of alien representatives. Her eyes met the Emperor's across the chamber, and she bowed politely. Then she spoke. "Your occupation of New Dawn must end. Withdraw your forces immediately or humanity will respond. This is your final warning." A silence fell over the room. Then the laughter returned, louder, crueler, mocking. The Emperor leaned forward in his throne, curiosity tinged with amusement. "Do you not understand the position you are in, human?" he said. "Your worlds are few, your fleets are small. You are insignificant in the face of the Empire. Do you believe words can protect you?" Alara's gaze did not waver. Her voice was calm but firm. "Words are not what protect us, Your Majesty, but they will define the limits of your empire. You may choose to respect them or suffer the consequences." The council erupted in laughter again. Alien delegates mocked her, whispering and pointing at human technology which looked primitive. The human ships which they had studied during reconnaissance were slow, poorly armored, and clearly unprepared for Imperial warcraft. A few of the more aggressive council members suggested immediate military action. One even joked that a single Imperial battlecruiser could erase the human race from the galaxy in moments. And yet, no one dared to notice what was quietly happening in the shadows. While the Empire laughed, human fleets were already moving, not toward defense, not toward surrender, toward positions that Imperial sensors could not detect. Fleets had shifted behind nebulae, around asteroids, into the gravitational pull of dying stars. The humans were preparing something, but no one in the Empire could guess what. Days passed. The humans did not attack. They did not make demands beyond their warning. Yet the Empire was confident in its superiority. The Emperor ordered the occupation of another human world, Starlight, as a demonstration of power. Imperial warships descended on Starlight without warning. Their weapons destroyed defensive satellites and disabled planetary shields within hours. The humans on Starlight prepared for battle, or so the Empire assumed. Then the humans did something no one expected. They did nothing. Imperial commanders watched as human fleets disappeared from the star charts. Communication signals went silent. Nothing attacked. Nothing resisted. It was as if the humans had simply vanished. The Empire assumed it was a mistake, a glitch in sensors, a clever ruse. They laughed again, certain that human survival was impossible against Imperial technology. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, Captain Alara Voss and her team monitored Imperial movements from hidden positions. They communicated in silence, using encrypted channels that the Empire could not trace. Their eyes were on the Imperial fleets. Their hands were ready, not for defense, but for a lesson. Alara stood on the bridge of the human flagship Resolute. The stars stretched endlessly before her, a canvas of black and gold. The ship hummed with energy, alive with systems that few could understand. "Admiral," said Lieutenant Core, the ship's tactical officer, "Imperial sensors are detecting unusual energy signatures near core world Sigma. They're scanning, trying to figure out what's happening. They'll see nothing, I think." Alara smiled faintly. "Good, let them search. Let them feel safe. They'll learn soon enough that humans are not as simple as we appear." Her calm voice hid the strategy that had been years in the making. Humanity had watched the Empire for decades, learning its habits, studying its strengths, its weaknesses, and most importantly, its arrogance. The Empire believed it was untouchable, and that arrogance would be its downfall. The first official human message had already spread across the galaxy. Every Imperial system received it, every council member heard it. It was simple, clear, and terrifying in its restraint. "This is your final warning." Now, hidden fleets waited. Calculations had been completed. Systems had been mapped. Every strike point, every route, every vulnerability of the Empire had been analyzed. Humanity did not seek war. They sought survival, but they knew the Empire would not stop. They knew the Empire would try to crush them. And humans did not bow. In the council chambers, the Emperor waved dismissively at the warning. "Humans," he said, "are small, fragile, weak. They do not know the meaning of power. They are nothing compared to the Empire." Yet across the stars, human ships were already positioning themselves near Imperial supply routes, core worlds, and strategic junctions. Not one ship had fired a shot. Not yet. On one quiet human command station, far from the eyes of the Empire, Captain Alara reviewed the plans again. Every target, every sequence, every contingency. The humans were not reckless. They were patient. They were careful. And above all, they were ready. Lieutenant Core leaned closer. "Do you think they'll take the warning seriously?" Alara shook her head. "No, they won't. That's why we do not warn again. We act. Silence is louder than words when the galaxy has ears but refuses to listen." In the days that followed, Imperial scouts reported strange phenomena. Ships reported sudden gravitational fluctuations, unexplained energy surges, and strange distortions in space. Imperial scientists were baffled. Alien admirals whispered to each other nervously. But the Empire laughed still, convinced these were minor anomalies. They assumed the humans were clever, but weak. Then, just before the official deadline of the warning, something remarkable happened. Imperial long-range sensors detected not just energy, but structure. Massive formations, invisible until that moment, hovered at precise points across multiple systems. The formations were human fleets, tens of thousands of ships, hidden behind nebulae, asteroid belts, and even the light of stars. The Empire realized too late that the humans were not defenseless. They were waiting, not to flee, not to beg, but to act. Captain Alara stood on the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes calm. She had seen fear in many forms across human history. Now the galaxy itself would learn it. Her voice carried to the crew through the comm system. "Remember this, all of you. Today we do not strike to destroy. Today we show them why no one should ever underestimate humanity again. Prepare. Stay ready. The galaxy is about to learn a lesson it has forgotten. Humans survive, and humans fight back." The stars stretched endlessly ahead. The humans waited. The Empire laughed, but the laughter was about to end. And when it did, the galaxy would never forget. The Imperial fleets had always been unstoppable. They were massive, heavily armed, and supported by the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Thousands of alien species had bent to their rule, entire civilizations had fallen without resistance, and no one had ever dared to challenge them openly. But humanity was not like the others. Imperial warships patrolled the human border, confident in their superiority. Admiral Cray of the Imperial Navy stood on the bridge of the flagship Dread Sovereign, scanning the sector. He was a veteran of countless wars, a master of tactics, and certain that no species could outmatch the Empire. "Report, Lieutenant," Cray barked. "Admiral, we have scanned the systems near New Dawn and Starlight. There are unusual energy signatures. We cannot identify them fully. Sensor readings fluctuate," replied Lieutenant Morick, his clawed hands trembling slightly as he adjusted the controls. "Unusual energy," Cray sneered. "Nothing humans do can match Imperial technology, perhaps a malfunction in our sensors." Across the galaxy, Captain Alara Voss watched the Empire with quiet calculation. She had predicted every move they would make. The Imperial fleets were confident, predictable, and arrogant. Humanity had prepared for this. Her fleet, hidden in the shadows of dense nebulae, waited. Every ship was in position, every weapon calibrated, every contingency accounted for. And yet no human ship fired a shot. "Not yet, Captain," Lieutenant Core said. "Imperial sensors are beginning to detect us. They are scanning, they are realizing we exist." Alara smiled faintly. "Good. Let them see something small, something weak. Let them underestimate us even more. Their arrogance will be their downfall." Meanwhile, the Empire grew restless. Imperial commanders grew impatient with the humans' apparent passivity. Messages from occupied worlds showed no resistance, no surrender, only silence. Imperial analysts debated and argued, but none could understand the human strategy. Finally, the Empire decided on a direct strike. They would attack the human homeworld, Earth Prime, and crush the species before it could grow stronger. Admiral Cray's fleet approached the system with confidence. Thousands of warships gleamed in the cold light of distant stars. The humans would resist, they thought, but the Empire was ready to overwhelm them. Yet, when Imperial weapons fired, nothing happened. Missiles vanished before reaching the planet. Energy beams bent in strange patterns, dissipating harmlessly. Alien pilots reported sudden gravitational distortions, making navigation nearly impossible. Sensors went dark. Communications failed. Panic rippled through the Empire. "What is happening?" Cray shouted, slamming his clawed fist on the control panel. "How can this be?" "Admiral," Morick said quietly, I do not know. It is as if the humans are controlling the battlefield itself." Alara's voice came over encrypted channels to her fleet. "Wait for the moment. Do not strike yet. Let them learn fear before they understand it. Let them see that the galaxy is not theirs to control." The humans did not attack the Empire directly. They did not destroy ships outright. Instead, they demonstrated power in restraint. One Imperial core world, Sigma Prime, suddenly began to destabilize. Its sun showed unusual fluctuations. Entire orbital networks trembled under mysterious forces. The scientists on the planet could not explain it. Sensors could not track it. Imperial advisors whispered rumors of impossible human technology. Across the galaxy, fear began to spread. Alien commanders compared notes, and for the first time doubt crept into their hearts. The humans were small, fragile, weak by every visible standard. Yet their control over space itself was terrifying. In the Imperial command chambers, the Emperor paced nervously. The human envoy's first warning had been calm, almost polite. But now the Empire faced anomalies it could not explain, systems collapsing without a single human ship fired. "Bring me Captain Voss," the Emperor demanded. "Let us speak directly. Perhaps we can reason with this species or show them the true cost of defiance." Alara received the request but did not respond immediately. She consulted with her command council. "Do we respond?" asked Admiral Rhine, her second in command. "No," Alara said firmly. "We do not speak. Words will not save the Empire now. Actions speak louder. Let them feel their weakness before we decide the lesson." Imperial fleets scrambled to counterattack. They spread out across multiple systems, hoping to intercept human ships. They activated their most advanced weapons, targeting planets and supply lines. But the humans had anticipated everything. Every path, every strike, every attack was predicted. Human ships moved with surgical precision. Not a single human casualty occurred. Imperial ships vanished from sensors without a trace. Systems once thought untouchable were suddenly crippled. Strategic supply hubs disappeared overnight. Communications went dark across occupied sectors. Panic turned to fear. Admiral Cray could no longer hide his anxiety. He had commanded fleets that annihilated entire civilizations without hesitation. Now, he watched helplessly as humans dismantled the Empire's confidence without even firing a direct shot. "What are they doing?" he demanded. "They are not attacking in the way we expected," Morik replied, voice trembling. "They are targeting our structures, our systems, our networks, not our ships directly, but everything that supports them. It is terrifying." Alara observed the Empire's confusion with quiet satisfaction. Humans had learned the hard way that arrogance was dangerous. The galaxy had taught humans fear, loss, and survival. Now, humans returned the favor, but measured, controlled, and precise. The first Imperial core world to fall was not destroyed, it was neutralized. Its sun's energy shifted unpredictably, orbital stations drifted out of alignment, and the population faced chaos without violence. It was a message, a statement. Humanity could destroy, but they chose not to, at least not yet. A second human message was sent across the galaxy. "We warned you. This is restraint. Do not mistake patience for weakness." The broadcast caused whispers across Imperial fleets. Alien commanders feared humans not for their size or ships, but for their ingenuity and patience. No other species in the galaxy had dared to challenge the Empire with such calm confidence. Emperor Douther's face grew pale. His advisors debated furiously, suggesting immediate nuclear strikes on all human worlds. Others argued evacuation of core systems before the humans attacked further. The council was divided, panic spreading like wildfire. Alara knew the Empire would soon act recklessly. Their arrogance and fear would push them to mistakes. She ordered her fleet to prepare for the next phase. "Keep them guessing," she said. "Let them think they understand us. Then when the time comes, we strike where they least expect it." Not to destroy for revenge, but to ensure no one else ever underestimates humanity again. Imperial fleets began to pull back, reorganize, and plan, but every move was anticipated. Every calculation was predicted. Humans had studied the Empire for decades, and now, for the first time, humans held the advantage. A secret human station transmitted coordinates to hidden fleets. "Deploy," Alara commanded. "Let them see the fire humans can carry and the restraint they choose to show." The galaxy began to tremble, not from weapons of mass destruction, but from the realization that humans were something different. No alien empire had ever fought a species that combined intelligence, patience, and courage so completely. In hidden star systems, humans prepared to move, not as conquerors but as guardians of their future. The empire, which had ruled unchallenged for millennia, began to understand the truth. The humans were not weak. They were not defenseless. They were unstoppable once cornered. Admiral Cray's fleet, scattered across multiple systems, faced unexplained anomalies. Supplies failed to arrive. Communications were cut. Navigation became nearly impossible. His pride turned into fear. In a quiet human command center, Captain Alara spoke to her fleet. "Today, we have shown the galaxy our patience. Tomorrow, we will show them our resolve. The Empire may think this is war, but it is only the beginning of understanding. They will learn that humanity does not bow. Humanity does not beg. Humanity survives, and humanity decides the cost of arrogance." The stars stretched endlessly ahead, full of hidden human ships, unseen power, and a calm determination that no alien species could match. For the first time, the Galactic Empire felt truly vulnerable. And across the galaxy, the first whispers of fear spread. Fear of a species that had been dismissed, underestimated, and mocked. Humanity had sent a warning. Now they were showing what that warning truly meant. The Galactic Empire, once untouchable, was crumbling. The arrogance that had carried it across thousands of star systems now worked against it. Alien fleets were scattered, supply lines were disrupted, and imperial core worlds were destabilizing. Fear had taken root in the hearts of species who had once bowed without question. Admiral Cray, the Empire's greatest military mind, could not comprehend what was happening. His flagship, the Dread Sovereign, drifted in orbit over Sigma Prime, one of the Empire's most vital worlds. Sensors flickered, navigation systems failed, and communication with the Emperor had become unreliable. "Captain," Morik said nervously, "our systems are collapsing. We cannot coordinate fleets. The humans, they control the battlefield without a single ship in sight." Cray's clawed hands clenched. "This is impossible. Humans are weak. Their fleets are small. How can they?" The star before them pulsed strangely. Space itself seemed to bend. Orbital stations trembled. Entire cities went dark. Alien scientists aboard the Dread Sovereign whispered of impossible physics, forces beyond comprehension. And then, across the galaxy, a broadcast interrupted all communications. "To the Galactic Empire and all who serve it, humanity warned you. We offered peace. We offered restraint. You chose arrogance. You chose to ignore us. The choice of consequences now belongs to you." The message was calm, measured, unthreatening. Yet every species that heard it shivered. Humans did not scream. They did not demand. They simply stated facts. In hidden fleets, Captain Alara Voss monitored the Empire's response. She did not smile. Humans had learned the galaxy's rules. They had waited. And now it was time to teach the Empire a lesson they could not ignore. Alara's voice echoed across her command ships. "Today, we do not destroy out of anger. We destroy to remind the galaxy of the price of arrogance. Strike where necessary, protect where necessary. Show restraint where necessary, and never forget, we are humanity, we endure." In the Imperial command chambers, the Emperor watched in disbelief. Advisors argued. Some demanded immediate attacks. Others advised retreat. The council was divided. Alien species that had once obeyed without question now whispered of surrender. Imperial fleets attempted to reorganize, but human forces were everywhere. They did not fight like the Empire expected. They struck infrastructure, control networks, supply routes, and communication hubs. Warships disappeared without warning. Entire planetary defenses were neutralized with surgical precision. The humans were not killing indiscriminately. They were teaching lessons. Every action was deliberate, every strike calculated. Humanity's power was not in brute force alone. It was in intelligence, patience, and understanding of the galaxy's weaknesses. Admiral Cray realized the truth too late. Humans were not reacting. They were orchestrating. They were forcing the Empire to fail, step by step, without a single wasted shot. The first Imperial core world to truly collapse was Orion Prime. Its planetary defense grid malfunctioned inexplicably. Starports shut down. Orbital weapons turned on each other. The population panicked and alien soldiers surrendered without resistance. No human ship had fired. No one had died. Yet the Empire's power had been broken. Ilara observed from the Resolute. "One down," she said softly. "The rest will follow." The Empire's response grew frantic. Entire fleets attempted to retreat, to regroup, to strike preemptively. Human forces anticipated every move. Supply lines were severed. Strategic centers were neutralized. Alien colonies that had once relied on Imperial protection now saw humans as saviors. Messages of surrender reached human commanders. Entire species offered allegiance, not out of fear alone, but out of respect. Humanity had demonstrated something the galaxy had forgotten. Intelligence, courage, and patience could be more powerful than fleets of warships. On the Emperor's flagship, chaos reigned. Communications were failing, Advisors were arguing and panic was spreading. The emperor, once confident of his absolute control, now faced a reality he could not ignore. Humans were not just strong, they were unstoppable when cornered. In a desperate move, the emperor ordered a counterattack on human homeworlds. Fleets were mobilized and weapons of unimaginable scale were prepared, but human fleets were already in position. They did not attack immediately. They waited for the empire to make the first mistake. And the empire did. Imperial weapons fired, but calculations were wrong. Human ships intercepted supply lines. Control networks were disabled. Orbital defenses turned against Imperial fleets. Entire armies were stranded without support. Panic spread like wildfire across every Imperial world. Alara's fleet struck decisively. Ships moved with precision, disabling critical systems while minimizing casualties. Planetary networks collapsed. Communication grids failed. The empire, which had once seemed omnipotent, was now powerless to stop the humans' careful orchestration. In the emperor's chambers, the truth became unavoidable. Humanity did not destroy out of anger. They did not attack recklessly. They controlled the outcome with intelligence and discipline. The empire's entire structure, its fleets, colonies, communications, and authority, was being dismantled without a single direct strike on their population. The emperor stared at the failing systems, finally understanding the reality. Humanity was not like any species he had encountered. They were clever, patient, and relentless. They did not bow. They did not beg. They survived, and when threatened, they acted decisively. Alara's fleet prepared the final broadcast. It was simple, calm, and direct. The Empire has chosen its path. We have chosen ours. The galaxy now understands. Humanity does not threaten without reason, but we do not hesitate when survival is at stake. Borders are redrawn. Predation ends. Slavery ends. Respect humanity and peace will follow. Ignore us and you will see the fire humanity carries. Across the galaxy, alien species listened in awe. Some wept at the precision, courage, and restraint humanity had shown. Others, once allies of the Empire, pledged loyalty to humanity. Fear was present, but it was tempered by admiration. Imperial fleets collapsed entirely. Systems once thought secure were rendered ineffective. The Emperor, powerless, could only watch as the Empire disintegrated around him. His advisors abandoned him. His fleets surrendered or vanished. Humanity had won, not through brute force, but through patience, intelligence, and a lesson delivered perfectly. On Earth Prime, humans celebrated quietly. They did not cheer for victory over death or destruction. They celebrated for survival, for ingenuity, for proving the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. Captain Alara Voss stood on the bridge of the Resolute. She looked out at the stars, calm, satisfied, and proud. "The galaxy has learned," she said softly. "They will remember what it means to underestimate humanity, and they will never make that mistake again." Lieutenant Kor smiled. "We've shown them our fire and our restraint." Alara nodded. "Yes, and that is the most powerful combination any species can possess. Let them rebuild. Let them learn. Humanity does not seek to conquer, but we will always defend, and the galaxy will never forget it." The stars stretched endlessly ahead. Across the remains of the Galactic Empire, the whispers of a new order spread. Humanity had not destroyed the galaxy. They had saved it from arrogance, oppression, and fear. The species once laughed at was now the line no empire dared cross. And in that quiet, steady truth, the galaxy finally understood the meaning of the final warning. Humanity survives. Humanity endures. And humanity decides the cost of arrogance.